Sa paglipas ng panahon, bagamat unti-unti na nga pong naubos sa mga mandirigmang kampyon ng mga Pilipino, ay meron pa rin naman mga Pilipinong mandirigma mula sa makabagong henerasyon ang ipinanganak upang ipagpatuloy ang legasiya ng mga naiwang mga alamat na boksingero ng Pilipinas. At isa na dyan, ang pride ng Dumingag Zamboanga del Sur, ang tinaguriang The Trigger Man na si Wiljon Mindoro, isang Pilipinong boxer na naghahatid karangalan ngayon sa ating bansang Pilipinas, na ngayon ay may impresibong record na 13 wins with 13 knockouts. Opo, tama po kayo sa inyong narinig. 100% ang knockout percentage ng bagitong Pinoy boxer na ito na ngayon nangangampanya sa middleweight division at gumagawa ngayon ng malaking ingay sa mundo ng boxing. Kung ating matatandaan, July 10, 2024, nang ilang paso at pabagsakin ito sa laban, ang sikat at former bare knuckle champion na si Tyler Goodjan na isang Briton. Halos 4 na buwan na lumipas, November 9, 2024, ay muling napalaban ng ating bida sa tirador naman ng Brazil na si Lucas de Abro, kung saan winasak din ito ni Mindoro sa loob lamang ng 3 rounds via knockout.
Pegada del Filipino, buena derecha.
¡Oh, qué derechazo! Está en problemas. Tuvo que poner una rodilla en la lona el brasileño.
Mindoro, 10 segundos.
Una vez más la cachetada bajo Lotera y vuelve a caer. Vuelve a caer con las combinaciones. Dice Lucas de Abreu que estoy bien, que puedo continuar. Uy, 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 un round 17, Dinamita.
Claro. Acuérdate, mi querido Ricardo, lo difícil no es caer, sino levantarte y ganar.
¡Oh! ¡Qué derechazo! Y ahora sí se acabó. Damas y caballeros,
La
esto.
asistencia médica.
¿Sí? Esto se acabó. Que traigan a la asistencia médica. Definitivamente están subiendo ya los doctores.
At matapos nga po ang panalo ng ating bida kontra kay Lucas de Abro, wala pang isang buwan na lumilipas, December 6, 2024, ay muling napalaban si Mindoro sa birador naman ng Australia na si Joel James Camilleri. Sama-sama nga po nating panoorin kung paano nga po muling ginimbal ni Mindoro, isang bagitong Pinoy boxer, ang mundo ng boxing. Simulan natin sa round 1.
So the opening round underway, a 3-minute round for the Asian Continental title of 75 kg midweight. Three accomplished winners in the hand, with the black one with gold, and the professional, well-John Mandora, 14 fights on tour, 13 wins, all of them coming inside the distance. So strange is fighting outside of the Philippines, whose last two contests were in the United States. So he is the KO of the year candidate in July against Tyler Goodjon, getting him out of there in the second round of a contest scheduled for 8 for Joel Camilleri. He completing his third contest of 2024. Spoke to Camilleri yesterday. Andre S.O.G. Ward, 2004 Olympic champion, still the last American male to claim Olympic gold. Clarissa Shields, of course, took 2 Olympic titles in London and Rio. And the ring IQ of Andre Ward is what he admires. He said that facing a puncher of this caliber and this repute really didn't hold any fears for him as he scored with a flicking jab, then he doubled it up, not too accurate with the second pair of these lefts. But he said that he intends to use that shot to frustrate the punch. He said he's been in with punches. He lands a looping roundhouse strike. He said that the pressure that he will bring with his elusiveness, his ring craft, and variety will just render your frustrated figure and start looking for the KO. In the meantime, Camilleri will be like piling up the points. This is an opportunity to showcase his skills, and in best, he'll be the match for anyone. So no shortage of confidence for the man from Melbourne. To manage this never cost two boxes before. This contest which established earlier this year. The right cross, left up, left hook to the body. Left hook on the inside, landed by Camilleri. again. Camilleri just content in the box behind a low-held guard. That right hand, the left hand wandering around for the knee cap. Man back across the wrist as the then gets digested. Again, right. Darting back to both left and right. Camilleri. Hit him against the rope, bring him square in there. You get him the power right and right cross. And under a couple of punches to the body, left hook after turning the table, landed by Camilleri. And compared to the opening round of boxing, it was.
Camilleri was really good shot right up until the last 15, 20 seconds.
Using the power, prior to going the distance with Dimitri Bivol in that battle for the undisputed title of 175 pounds light heavyweight. 100% KO ratio for a man of this profession. Here's the Mindoro from around the kneecap, just whacked right into his face to disrupt his forward movement. Beautiful shot with that lead left from Camilleri. As the two men test the tension of the strands just above our boxing position. Approaching the halfway stage of the overhand right from Camilleri to the spectator shot. Continuing to move effectively. Laterally both clockwise and counterclockwise. Mindoro, quick-footed with his advances, trying to close the gap, but invariably the man breaking the standoff by letting his hand go first is Camilleri, and it's a disruptive, staccato rhythm that he's boxing at. And Mindoro has yet got to grips with that rhythm to demonstrate his own time. With a noted knockout on this. Camilleri goes by the name of KO, 14 wins of his 29 coming via the short. Remembering here that disruptive left hand once again, and Mindoro just swinging and missing with his haunted backhand. By the knee level, blocked effectively by the gloves and forearm of Camilleri. Mindoro seems to shake up nicely. Camilleri. Yes, interrupting the boxing match, circumnavigating, back swimming against the ropes. Turn the tables once more, and Nero, 10 rounds separately, the referee, separate the two. 20 seconds of the second round. They're just even. Mindoro made his man miss and came out of a crowd with a speculative overhand right. The dynamic, darting, and elusive movement of Camilleri just gives you the impression that he's controlling the tempo and he's
Real contact on Camilleri. You said in an earlier part, shoulders forward, whatever, just make sure you start landing.
Well, Mindoro out aggressively and letting a fusillade of punches go, and a couple of the body shots did get through, followed by a flashing right uppercut. Pinned in his own corner is Camilleri, keen to try and fashion a clinch, but then just, beautiful two-shot salvo to the body from Mindoro. Perhaps his best punches of the entire contest as he sunk his feet into the canvas and got real leverage onto his shot. But now it's Camilleri walking down the knockout artist, and he's teeing away to the body before cutting away with a right hook to the head. Again, it's a question we often pose when you've got a man who is used to touching opponents and seeing them fall. Will the curse of the puncher befall? Well, John Mindoro tonight. Still early days, of course, in his battle for the Asian Continental title at 75 kilograms. But oftentimes, when a puncher is landing cleanly and the opponent is still there, well, sometimes the puncher's instinct can be to just dig away harder. Even though they say they're prepared to go the distance, and no doubt physically they are, and sometimes play tricks in the mind of the expert finisher. That is what the trigger man has proven to be during his professional career to this point. Having made his debut in 2019. But Camilleri with a cuffing right hand and then tying his man up to waltz him back to the space and centre ring is boxing a clever physical contest. Left-right combination not too far away from Mindoro, but Camilleri tucking up behind his shoulder to ward off the incoming fire, and again it's a disruptive lead left that he's continuing to work behind Camilleri. Offering the half cover guard, then he's fired an overhand right, the left hook which followed may have glanced the nose of Mindoro after the right hand was inaccurate. Clocking up the miles on his fistic odometer as he glides around the perimeter of the ring. Camilleri, Mindoro. Again, when Andy and I were observing him work out at the Rocky Road Gym, as a flashing left-right combination catches the advancing Mindoro from Camilleri. He's possessed of that timing that just produces a distinctive sound. Overhand left with a barroom brawl of a blow from Mindoro. Couldn't quite find the range as he walked his man down, but Camilleri landing with the inside of the glove, and then an altogether cleaner right hand, and another one from Camilleri, followed by left hook, boxing beautifully off the ropes as Mindoro tries to respond to the right uppercut of his own. But he's walked back across the ring by Camilleri, who is just neutralizing the bombs that are housed in the boxing gloves of the left and right fist of Mindoro. Terrific work by Camilleri to smother the man from the Philippines. For a right hand off the back foot, and a very clever display once again, producing that third round by Camo KO.
It was, but I would sound a note of caution at him.
Camilleri, no stranger to going the 10-round distance, so 8 rounds for this Asian title won't hold any fears for him. Again, his manner of boxing as for Mindoro. He looks his man back to the ropes and lands with a right cross. Clever boxing out of the corner from Camilleri, who remain responsible. But now he's beginning to be teed off upon by Mindoro. Is this a stoppage? No, it's a standing count. So, referee Valery Pastuhov stepping in with a standing count after hooks and uppercuts began to crash home against Camilleri. Oh, that's a beautiful right hand on the resumption, but now Mindoro has got his man going and he's seeking to demonstrate that he is a precise and merciless finisher once again. It's an awful long time to negotiate. Beautiful left hook, but then a right hand in response from Camilleri. But Mindoro really is finding a range on his punches now and wearing all of them. Flush is Camilleri. He's in a solid minute and 10 seconds so far. He's taken a standing count. Back into the breach, steps Mindoro. Senses that he's got his man going. He's wrestled him down to the canvas. That gives him some brief respite. The referee wipes the gloves clean and he's walked onto a shot, which was an uppercut, which sends Camilleri to the canvas to take the second count of the round. There's still a minute and a half to go in round number 4, and against a finisher like Mindoro, that could well be a long 90 seconds. Camilleri on the ropes above our commentary position, bobbing and weaving, trying to hold off, but he's taken a right uppercut, and a towel has come in from Dino Billinghurst in the corner of the Australian. Camilleri stopping an exuberant celebration in acknowledgement of another inside distance victory for well John Mindoro. And as we talked about with his punching power, once he began to let those hands go against a stationary target, well, the writing was on the wall for Joel Camilleri. He deserves immense credit because over the course of the first 4 rounds, he boxed very well indeed. But as is often the case when sharing a ring with a puncher, you've got to remain switched on for every moment that they remain upright.
You absolutely do, and we were wondering, weren't we, in between rounds, whether at the end of the 3rd round there was a danger sign there because he was starting to fight Mindoro's fight more, and was that because he was confident, was that because his feet were slowing down? And then right at the start of the 4th, he got involved straight away in the kind of fight that really he didn't want to be in. Professional boxing, you could have judged that the votes had kept the fight going. That wasn't really the case. I think it was an uppercut that he walked onto in the end. It was over quite quick in the end. It was dramatic. He was doing so well up until that point, and you can see how frustrated he is finishing with him a bit. I was thinking to myself, that's what he needs to do this. That's what they always seem to do. And it proved to be the case. But for the trigger man, this is exactly what you wanted, isn't it? You know, you can't do without reputation being a boxer.
Please show your appreciation for both the boxers. And before we hand over the IBA Pro Asian Championship title, we have 2 special guest presenters, 2 icons of the sport, the real deals. Let me please introduce Mr.
Well John Mindoro.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of boxing, we go to your judges' scorecards. Pardon me. The contest ends in round number 4. The official time, 1 minute and 40 seconds of round number 4. Therefore, your winner by TKO from the Philippines, the Trigger Man, well done, Mandoro!
So, well done, Mandoro retains his undefeated record, and it is now
Once again,
15
in the
fights.
ring, 2 icons
15
of
wins,
boxing, Mr.
15 fights,
Two and Mr. Manny
and all
Pacquiao.
14 wins coming inside the distance, courtesy of a 4th round technical knockout, reduced at the 1 minute 40 mark of round number 4, and that's not a bad photograph, is it? Costa Sioux, inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 2011. Manny Pacquiao will be inducted into the next class of the International Boxing Hall of Fame in upstate New York. And they on hand to present the Asian Continental title. Well done, Mindoro, but he retained his patience and his faith in his power, and once he got his man going, well, he unloaded the heavy artillery and got his man out of there because the towel came in from his corner.
Absolutely. We said, didn't we, 5 rounds is a long time. And Camilleri done well up to that point. He had a plan, he stuck to the plan, and then maybe he deviated from it slightly, but I don't want to give too much to him because you have to give credit to the winner always. And Mindoro didn't really look too frustrated at any point. He had pockets of success up until when, but at the start of the board, he got stuck in straight away, really. But he's got a chin on him too, because as he was coming forward, Camilleri nailed him with some clean shots. He just walked straight through them, and that's not good, is it? When you're the opponent throwing them, when you see somebody just gobble them up and keep coming. I think this is the point at which he had him penned back in the corner there. He was flopping him around, and the referee stepped in for the standing count. You can maybe make a case of the ropes and keeping him up there. It's not inconceivable. Either way, it wasn't going to have too much bearing on the outcome. He give him a little bit of time to recoup, but when they got going again, I think this is an uppercut that he came onto. It was backwards to his Camilleri, so we couldn't really see it. But in the end, he ended up on the canvas and he got back to his feet. It kind of half landed, didn't it, really? But he got back to his feet. By that stage, they were order decided that they'd seen enough. There was still plenty of time remaining in the round, and he was unravelling, wasn't he? You could see that he lost that kind of rigidity and tensile strength, and with a puncher like that, he could well have got knocked clean out. And if you're in the corner, your job is to stop that happening, if you can. You can't always, can you? But in certain circumstances you can, and that was one of them. They did it, so well done to them for that. I don't think the referee would necessarily let it go on too much longer, but they were quick to get in.
You know, Billinghurst has only been working with Joe Camilleri since February of this year, but the relationship is clearly strong enough and deep enough